If you guys want to have a good time, I will help that happen. Here we go.
374.
No. But I do love when I see attractive gay men, because it's one more reason that women have to settle for men that look like me. So I'm very grateful. So I love New Orleans. Everyone says hello. Everyone says hello in New Orleans, and then immediately follows it with, "Can I get a $5 though? Can I get, hi, how are you? Let me get some money." Very, very nice city. When I first moved here, I moved to Tremé. It was like the most historical part of the city. I moved there because everyone said it was the best part of the city to live in. It was right by the French Quarter. I was a little bit concerned though. I lived in Tremé. This is a true story. I lived in New Orleans only a month. I was at a coffee shop and I said, "Hey, listen, actually I just moved here. I live in Tremé." They said, "Tremé? Oh wow. How do you even get home?" There was a shooting out in Tremé. They've actually been shooting for the past few days. That's why the police have it blocked off. What they meant to say was filming. My streets were blocked off because they were filming. And if they would have said that, I would not have felt compelled to stay home for 2 weeks. Okay. It's another true story. The apartment I moved into was $200 below market because somebody died in it. What that means is I had a ghost for a roommate who always chipped in their part of the rent. That is incredible. You guys are missing out. My neighbors are so nice. They check my mail for me, even though I never asked them to. It's very sweet of them, I appreciate it. I'm performing for you and over here. If you guys could just move to the same table, just be like this with an eye contact. Just gonna do this thing. Like a comedic turret. Okay.
See what they're doing?
I know I'm funny, it's okay, it's fine. This is another true story. And like a lot of comedians will say this, but like this is a true story. Here we go. So, I look like someone who either buys or sells drugs. That is not helped by the fact that I moved here from Miami and I stay up late at night. I was coming home from the French Quarter and this guy approached me. He said, "Hey, do you party?" Now, if you don't do drugs, you don't know what that means. I didn't know what so he says, "Do you party?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. I'm just coming home from the club. It's 1:30 in the morning. Of course I party." He follows up with, "Cool, man. Do you want some party favors?" And I'm like, "I don't decorate. I usually bring like chips, maybe a soda or something. Are you selling streamers out of your trunk?" He says, "No, man. I got weed. I got the best weed," which I find hard to believe. Because if you have the best weed, you probably just have a call service because the best weed sells itself. This is also part of the story, very true. This entire time we're having this conversation, there's a cop on the opposite corner of that street. I look at the cop, I look back at the guy, and I say, "How are you going to try and sell me drugs when there is a cop right there?" The guy looks at the cop, looks at me and says, "I already asked him, but they drug test now. So once he got a badge, he don't buy." This is a true story. What I find very confusing about New Orleans is they always tell you where the drug-free zones are, but they never tell you where the free drug zones are. Which is apparently all of Bourbon and some of Frenchman. Thank you. Cool. Because they're not near schools. The only thing that New Orleans has done for drug prevention is to remove all the doors from the bathroom stalls. Because it's like, all right, you can do coke if you feel comfortable with somebody intruding. That's what we got. We also don't put any mirrors along the walls or on the ground or anything at all, so you have no idea how embarrassing you look. Sweet. Thank you. This is just for him. You know what? I'm just telling jokes for the owner. We're good. So, another true story. When I visited New Orleans, I saw all these people in the French Quarter staggering all over the place. And I'm like, oh my God, everyone in New Orleans is drunk as fuck. Then I walked on the sidewalks and I'm like, good Lord, they're like on the set of an Indiana Jones film. They're like, no, 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 we can't both be on the same brick at the same time! Okay. No, I get it. I'm funny. I appreciate it. So there's all these like, with the whole woke culture, they like changed all the names of all these street signs. And I didn't know so many of these streets were racist. Mostly because I didn't know what the fuck these street names were because the signs have been gone for like 14 years. But they like changed the street names so quick. So I've been telling New Orleans, like the whole city, the people, that there are like a ton of racist potholes that they need to get rid of, like immediately. Also, I'm pretty sure daylight savings time is rooted in racism. We need to cancel that. Mostly because it annoys me, but also, you know, go back far enough, I'm sure a white person has something to do with it. A lot of people in New Orleans have tattoos, especially the people outside. A lot of people in New Orleans have tattoos, and I realize why. Because they want to spend their money on something their roommate can't steal while they're sleeping, you know what I mean? Like a boyfriend, or rent money, or a laptop, a cell phone charger. Okay, we're having fun. This is one of my favorite jokes. You guys ready? When I first moved to New Orleans, I was like, wow, a lot of people have bikes out here. But now that I've lived in New Orleans, I'm like, wow, a lot of people have DUIs out here. Yeah? You're not environmentally conscientious. You can't legally drive. Okay? Sweet. And I do like my bikes, like I like my women, because I've had 6 bikes stolen. So, nobody takes the ugly ones, and that's what I'm going for now. Nobody takes the ugly ones or the all-white ones. They just leave them right where they are. I guess because they figure they're dead inside. Okay, cool. Thank you. I hate when I'm driving at night and like people are using me as a guide for driving. You ever do this? There's 3 lanes, right? You're driving, you're like the only car on the road. Then there's another car, right? You change lanes, what do? They change lanes, right? And they keep doing this. You're like, dude, just figure it out for yourself. It's so annoying. And then they pull you over. Oh, so annoying. I see how I connected those 2 things. Okay, you're there. These are my notes. We're good. New Orleans has 3 seasons. Too hot to go anywhere, too cold to do anything, and Mardi Gras. So, welcome. People make mistakes during Mardi Gras. I made a mistake. This is a smart joke. Listen up. I made a mistake during Mardi Gras. I bought my friend a king cake 2 weeks after she had a miscarriage. Yeah, no, that's not the bad part. The bad part was giving her the king cake and saying, don't worry, there's no baby in this either. Because that would be rude if I did that. You know what I mean? I removed the baby. I mean, I'm not God. But, wow, that is what gets dead baby. I just pull out my notepad of dead baby jokes. Sweet. My friend really wanted a dog, and after 5 months, she adopted a dog because she couldn't have one naturally. Okay. Alright, we're into fucking dogs and killing kids. Cool. I have learned so much about optimism in New Orleans. You have to stay optimistic, okay? You have to stay optimistic. Like, every time it rains, a crackhead gets a shower. It's amazing. For every argument between a parent and their teenage daughter, someone makes $200 off a new tattoo. That's incredible, right? We're back on the tattoo jokes because the audience. Sweet. They're not homeless, they are mortgageless. That's you can't get bills if you don't get a mailbox, is what I'm saying. Cool. They're not gutter punks. They just don't like to change clothes between Renaissance festivals. You know what I mean? So problematic. What are you doing there? I'm whittling a sword, which I plan to use to rob this store I've been living in front of for 5 minutes. Okay, these were funny jokes. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you. This is so weird. It's like I don't need to know, because I dedicate most of my jokes to my grandmother because she's looking down on me. She's not dead. She's just very condescending and opinionated. So there's that. All right. What's it? Oh, here's a fun joke. You guys ready? All right. I'm laying in bed with my lady. My lady, in case anybody's still confused. And she whispers to me. I don't know why. We're like the only people in the room. It's not a library. Speak up. You know what I mean? She whispers to me. She's like, I want you to make me feel violated. So something you should know. I thought 50 Shades of Grey was porn for the elderly because it just makes sense. Think about it. This is the hair. Okay? All right. We're there. Okay. I didn't know about that. Okay, so she says to me, I want you to make me feel violated. So I did what I thought any man would do, okay? I tie her hands to the headboard, I tie her feet to the footboard, right? I put a gag in her mouth, and then I looked through her cell phone, so. Very, very successful. I mean, we broke up, but guess she was just like, wasn't into geeky stuff, you know? She's like, oh my God, you're smothering me. And I'm like, it's a really small pillow. Okay. Thank you guys.